I'm wearing white, or I'd sit down in the garden and talk with the garden behind me, but it's not that pretty right now anyways, as it's dying. I just thought I needed to finish off, kind of talking a little bit about Wayne's meds, give you that update. So he had his doctor's appointment. They put him on another medicine, so that one's like a 24-hour medicine. And then he had to have an appointment after 2 weeks to go see that doctor, test his blood pressure, and see how that medicine was working. So he said he was feeling okay. The first day he felt a little woozy, felt a little, drunk. The first morning that he took it, like for about an hour, he felt kind of like, but then that wore off and that was good. By the second day, he was okay. Third day was better, and that was the day actually we were moving Tammy and stuff. So he did fine. He made it. Obviously, it was a couple of days. So we did all that moving, all that hard work up and down the stairs, so working his heart. It was fine. He was taking his blood pressure at home, still just a tad high, still feeling just a tad off. So he had his appointment last week, Wednesday, and the doc said that he wanted him to also up his other medicine. So the one original medicine that he was taking, he's supposed to take that now twice a day. So sometime in the afternoon, whenever worked for him, type of thing. So he's been taking that with dinner, and we're going to see how that works. Then we just have to figure out, we have to straighten out insurance yet on that, because insurance was like, no, you can't have a refill, you already have your meds for that. Not realizing that, well, the doctor upped it, now he has to take it twice a day, not once, so he's going to run out. So we'll figure that out. But in any case, that's where we're at with that. And so far it's I guess okay. Today he was saying again he's still feeling anxious. He's still I don't know, stressed maybe because he's having these few days off. That that he just knows there's work to be done, and there are people that either can't do it and won't. He's got to kind of vet his stuff and send it off to places that, to the other stores where it can be done. So even though he's, off, technically he still does work. As he does, because they're too, he's responsible, and and he cares, and he doesn't like when if the customers get upset and stuff, and they know they can rely on him, because he's dependable. So when others fall through, then they call him and he gets the job done. So, but anyways, that's the update on him. He's so super happy to have the girls home, so hopefully the endorphins of that will help override the stress, and it'll be okay. Happy Thursday! Maybe. Happy enough. We took Manny to the airport this morning, so we were up at 3 a.m. dropping her off. I think 5:30, 6 o'clock we probably left there. I think 5:30 is when she ended up getting into line. Her flight left at 7:30. They actually left a little bit early, which was nice. And she got to Utah on time, and everything went well there. She didn't have too long of a walk to get to her other gate. So she made that and told us she was going to get ready to board. She had to unfortunately pack her suitcase, check her suitcase, her light travel on. She had a bag too though, so her main stuff that she needed was really in her bag. But the plane was so full that the last two sections or whatever ended up all having to check their carry-ons. So that's all right. She knows what that's about and everything now, so. But she's on her way. So, it's a fantastic week. I said we did a lot. We put a lot into every day. So we made our time worthwhile. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't know when we'll see her again, because this is the only time of year that I know of that they get this long of a vacation. Like I said, the one time before that they had some time off was only like 5 days, which included the weekend and stuff, and that's when they went to Japan all together, her and her friends. And for around Christmas time, they don't get that much time off, and again, they're planning on going to Jeju Island. So, yeah, we may not see her till again like next year this time. So that's the way that's gonna go. But again, it was very nice to see her in person and hug her, and she took all the long hugs and and gave them back and all that. So now we're picking up the car again. Trying to think of where we were traveling from, and Wayne said he was hearing a hum in the car. And I know I wasn't really hearing a hum, so we were together going somewhere. Oh, I think it was when we were helping Tammy move. And when we were coming back from that, I don't know, wherever we were together, sometime around then. But in any case, he was hearing a hum in the car, and he was like, that's the wheel bearing. And I'm just like, really? You know, so I couldn't hear it. I know he heard it, had to be last year-ish. At some point, he heard it, and at that point, we had Mandy and Cassie in the car and Mandy's boyfriend, and the boyfriend heard the noise. And we took it in, and our mechanics were like, yep, that's what that is. That's the wheel bearing. So when this was happening again, Wayne's like, I think it's the wheel bearing. And I'm like, all right. So we took it in and dropped off Monday night. So they looked at it Tuesday. We didn't get a call, which we're surprised. And then on Wednesday, I got a call. And the mechanic said, that he called Wayne, but it went straight to voicemail. And so he's like, so I figured I'd call you. So I got a hold of somebody. And this was the second time he was trying and everything. I'm like, oh, all right. So I let Wayne know. And Wayne was like, oh, so he checked his voicemail. Yeah, he had 7 messages from different people. So that was good to know. But yes, it was the wheel bearing again this time. So both back ones are fixed now. They should be good. But then something was happening as we were bringing it home yesterday. Wayne was hearing another noise that he thought it was the brakes or something was scraping, and so he called them back right away while we were on our way home. And they said, Eric said, just bring it right back. So we did. We made U-turns. We went right back, and he looked at it. He goes, yeah, sometimes when we fix there's some type of a cover that slips sometimes. And he tried fixing it, and then took it for a drive, and it was like, something's still not just quite right. He goes, so if you could leave it with me again another night. We're like, yep. But this is the perfect week to do that because he has off of work, and so we only need the one car to go do all the stuff we're doing. Plus, we've got the other car, basically Mandy's car that Cassie's been driving. So they had that car to go do their errands and stuff that day and run around, go shopping, get the haircut and all that. So anyways, yeah, so now Eric just called this morning saying, okay, car is fixed. So we waited until Mandy's flight actually left Utah. And I did, so that was good. So yay, very grateful about that. That was our thing. It was like, just get her on that plane and get her back to where she needs to be. Because right now in the U.S. we've got that thing where, I don't know, Congress shut down government jobs, something. So people aren't getting paid, which I know one of the main ones are air traffic controllers. And so a bunch of them are basically like kind of going on strike. They're not showing up, using their sick time, doing whatever, or something that. But at least that's what we figured too. Mandy's airport she was going to was one of the smaller airports. I know some of the larger airports are having a problem. But so where Mandy was going, it was all good. So again, yay! Thank you, universe. I appreciate that. Got the plane going, so that's good. Other than that, then I made an appointment for this car because I'm months overdue for an oil change. But miles wise, I think I'm just shy of what it needs to be. So it was like, well, it's okay. But in the meantime, I also need to get my back sliding door fixed. We had Mandy in the car and stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, don't use that door because it may not close. So again, when it's just me driving the van and everything, that's fine, and I use the driver's side door if I need to for groceries or whatever to put them here. We use the trunk. But yeah, with having 4 of us in the car, it was like, oh, Mandy, you gotta come on this side and scoot yourself over and then leave out that side. So all right, well, we got that fixed. Well, figured I'd get it fixed in the next oil change, and I think I forgot the last oil change, so it was like, okay, well, we'll get that fixed. So then this car will be all good to go. Other than that, leaves are changing here. We're getting more colors, so it's beautiful. It's one thing about driving around, going around, is couple of our trips and stuff. We went down to, we went to South Milwaukee. We saw Tammy's place. Got to show Mandy Tammy's place, and lots of Halloween decorations out. So it's so cute. With the big thing this year are those like really tall skeletons, like the ones that are 15 feet high or whatever. A lot of those around. And other stuff. It's just so cute. Like even on going to the mechanic here, there were these 3 blow-em-up cats, and even Wayne saw those, and I was like, "Oh, did you see those?" And I went, "No, I hadn't yet." And then I did see him yesterday. So today I was like, "Oh, take a picture." So I've got that. But yeah, the one house that I had seen last year that had a whole bunch of decorations, they don't have theirs up yet. But like I said, when we were driving around, like with South Milwaukee and all that stuff, there's lots of cuteness up. And then we got ours up. The one day that, like I said, the girls were out and about and doing their shopping and stuff, we kind of had our free day. So we cleaned out the garden and got our Halloweeny stuff up there, which I should find an old picture of that. If I can find it, I'll put that in here. But I have this ghost, little plastic ghost that we have in the garden, and I have a picture of Cassie basically as tall as that ghost, like standing next to it, either giving it a hug or like holding its like hand or something like that. It was very cute. So again, those decorations are also like 15 years old, 20 years old, but they're so cute. I only have the 3 of them, so yeah, it takes up a lot of room in the garage, but that's the only holiday I have those for, so that's okay. And they're lasting. The other little pumpkins that we have in there are styrofoam, so when it's a really windy day, they go blowing all over. Got those from Spirit Halloween. So that was at the end of the season when they were closing down the store, they were going to throw all this stuff out. And so a couple of us were like, well, can we just have them? And they're like, well, you're like, no. They have to be thrown out. So you're throwing them out, right? Oh yeah, we're throwing them out into my car. So they've been cute too to have those. That's been nice, but again, they're kind of getting worn and all that. And same with the skulls. Wayne said too, one of the stakes broke from one of the skull heads. But we use our stuff as long as we can. Like one of my light 'em up little sticks too, my summer ones, that one of those stopped lighting up too. And that's one of the newer ones. I think I still got one old one, because I have one left that's, again, from, I don't know, 10 years ago when I got those or something. We've had those in the garden every summer, and then I had 3 snowflakes that I put in the garden then for after Halloween is out. We put up the snowflakes, so again, just gives it a little bit of light, a little cuteness. So when you drive in, you see that. But I didn't see the snowflakes up where we put our little decorations, and I thought, I think last year they all burnt out, and they're not really replaceable batteries. So we got rid of those, and I haven't seen anything. I think that was one of the times last year I was looking for some. We went to Stein's, I think is where I got them, and we looked around, and I didn't find anything cute that I liked. We'll see if we find anything this year or not, or again, it's not something that's that important, and at this point in time, where I'm cutting expenses for the moment. We'll just do what we need to do. Getting by, day by day. Doing the important stuff, like spending time with family. That was all good. So that's about it. It's a little cooler out. We've got 59 degrees now, and it's already noonish. Yeah. So this is about our high temperatures for now, but again, I don't think we have rain in the forecast for a while. It's just going to be cooler and sunny. I'm missing my walks though. I really haven't done that. I haven't exercised all week either. So I'll start now that Mandy's back. Going back, get back to our routines and doing that kind of stuff. So that'll be good. I hope you guys are doing well. and you're doing all the stuff that you need to do, and same, getting to spend some time with the family on the weekends, or during the week, you know. Usually on weekends is more when you get to go out and do some fun stuff. Doing some decoration. Do you guys do any decorating? Do you have any of those big skeletons in your place? Any yard decorations? Window decorations? Inside decorations? I've got a big stuffed pumpkin that I have on the back of the couch. And then I have a couple pumpkin-y things on my kitchen counter. Other than that, I don't have anything indoor. It's just we have our outdoor stuff, like I said, which is cute because being there and that, you know, kind of an entrance area that everybody that kind of drives in that way sees our place. And so we've gotten many compliments on, oh, I love all your pumpkin-y stuff out and all. So very nice. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can, I want to get home and take a walk before I take a nap because I'm really tired. I figured that I would wake up enough to do this drive and get the car and all that, which I did. It's like I said, a little cool out, so I'll get that walk in. I did see a heron flying yesterday when I was driving back from our car thing. I did see, no, I was out shopping for stuff to see if I could find any other souvenirs from Andy. And when I was driving home, I did see the heron fly over. Otherwise, I haven't seen them in, I think, 2 weeks now. So I kind of figured that they're probably have migrated. So where this one was going, I don't know. So I don't know if I will see him, but I'm not expecting to. So if I do, it'll be bonus. But at this point, I'm thinking that they have migrated now. So I will let you know. Happy Friday. It's a cloudy, kind of overcast day. It rained this morning. A little cool out there. I think I saw like 57. So time to be breaking out the long sleeve stuff. Didn't take a walk yet this morning. Probably after we're done. I was invited out to lunch today by one of my friends. We had lunch a couple months ago. So when I went walking around the Fox River and stuff. So Joyce invited me out, and I believe Sarah's supposed to be coming meeting us too. So that'll be nice. Very nice, very nice. Wayne has some alone time then. He still has off today. As I said yesterday was when we took Mandy to the airport. She's home. She did get a lot of sleep on the plane. She also watched a bunch of goofy movies, more scary. She's like, I understand, you can't really show horror on an airplane, but although while she slept, I guess she said she did have like 2 dreams of the plane crashing or something. So those aren't good dreams. But she's happy to be back to her place. I guess it was pouring when she got there, so she just got herself a taxi to take her all the way back home. And otherwise she was going to take the bus, but it was like, nope, she decided, all right, she didn't know what she was going to do when she got there. She just decided she'd wait on see what the weather was going to be like and go from there. So again, at least there's no time frame anything. She could take the time that she needed and is home and in her bed and back in her time zone. So she should be able to get back to used to that, and I'll be okay. Yeah, but other than that, very nice to have the friends invite me out. We'll see how this goes. I know I've got a lot of people offering tips on helping with us get for my financials and what's going on, so I appreciate that. Thank you. We figured out a few things in that I do have one stock account that I've had since I was a teenager that well, in my 20s, I should say. In my 20s, I started my own Wisconsin Energy account. I had put some money away, and then I've been using that also as an emergency type account. So as it would go over $1,000 or whatever it need, then it was like, oh, okay, well, let me take out money, trying to leave $1,000 in there. Well, the last time I took out money, I must have somehow again needed something for bills that it was down. It took a year to get back up over 1,000. But so I'm like, okay, well, I can close that account out. I'll have that. That'll take care of the bills that are in collections. And then Wayne also mentioned that I have some money that's in a non-retirement account with my retirement stuff. I have money in Janus. That's where I have my retirement money. And I knew I had 2 different account things, but I guess I might have 3. So I have 2 different funds that are both retirement. And then there's one fund that is not retirement. But I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. I knew I had the two that were retirement. So he was like, nope, we have that. That's like $5,000. So we can take that out. And then that will pay for my medical bills that will be coming up, because I still don't have anything from my dermatology appointment from that spot removal on my back. That was pending insurance. And then next month I have some more blood work and a CT scan. So that money will cover all of that. And there was something else I thought of, and now I'm forgetting, because we'll also still have Wayne's emergency appointment, his emergency room bill that'll come up, and these doctor's appointments that he's been going to get his blood pressure medicine figured out, which I don't know if I updated. Doctor put him on his same medicine twice a day, plus with that extra pill. So he has another appointment coming up next week to see how that's going. Because he did add the one pill and the blood pressure was okay, but still, I guess, they're not low enough for their liking. So they added another pill in, but basically another dose of the one that he was taking. Because that one, like I said, that one kind of tapers off through the day. So then they added another one in the afternoon. So we'll see how that one's working. But anyways, we'll still have those appointments. And like I said, I think, as of the 19th of this month, I guess I can start taking out some of my retirement money, because I'll be 59 and a half. So I guess you can start taking out some IRA money. So we have to look into that and see how all that goes. Because as we thought about it, I'm like, I haven't been working for 2 years. I was bringing home $20,000 a year. So it's like, okay, that's $40,000 that we haven't had. Granted, if I'd been working, we also wouldn't have been having these medical problems. It's a medical situation. Let's put it that way. That is what it is. Yeah, so you think about it that way, that's that much less money that we're having. I know somebody mentioned looking into disability. I did look that up yesterday. I said, now that Mandy's gone, I can start looking, taking my time and looking into more of this stuff. I did look up disability. Technically, when you have a stoma, you are considered disabled, but you don't get disability pay unless it really affects your life, as in if you had a job where you were doing a lot of heavy lifting and now you kind of can't. And that way they would maybe okay you for pay. And the other one was that if nutritionally it was really affecting you. So like in that way, more so I think when people with like Crohn's disease, IBD, stuff like that, where they're having more medical issues, more hard time eating, keeping food down, keeping food in. I know a lot of those people have, like one of the girls that I follow too, she has to give herself like a shot monthly, has a lot of blockages, has, stuff like that. So neither of those really apply to me. So I guess again, it's basically like if you really can't work, then you can do that. So that's what I found so far. I know there were a couple other things I know you guys had mentioned, and I know I have a family member, because one of Wayne's family members was going to also offer up some information. I had somebody else that had been in collections, and she offered me some tips and on how to pay, how to make sure I'm paying correctly, about talking to Aurora and realizing that if you don't actually talk to, even though you're paying your bills, if you don't actually talk to them, so if you're not paying everything off and you don't talk to them and tell them kind of your plan, that they'll send you to collections. So that was good to know. So that's on my agenda also, of making sure that I do call them. Although again, like I said, at this point I've paid off Aurora to where the bills that I've had. So now it's just the collections that I have to take care of. And I'll be able to do that shortly. I know the ones that I had till November 1st to contact them, and the other one was November 12th. So I should be able to get that taken care of. And then we'll be at ground zero, again, till next year. So I'm still having the CT scans every 6 months. And the blood work every 3 months, the blood work is like, it's an $800 bill. So it's interesting. That's, but then again, it's our deductible. So as long as I know, plan for it. And like I said, in the meantime, keeping my, looking at the job boards and going from there. And I also kind of figured out too, of if I write a cover letter and kind of explain that, yes, I had cancer, but I am in remission, and this is what I've learned, type of thing, that I am, resilient. I am patient. I am, whatever, that I've gotten through all this, and kind of highlight the good things, and like, yes, I can still work. I am still capable. I'm smart enough. I am strong enough. And I can do that. So that's where I'm at. Anyways, I'm gonna go enjoy lunch. I think I looked up the menu, and it looks like there's like a harvest salad that has walnuts and apples and cranberries in it. So that looked really delicious. I'm in the mood for a salad. I was looking at some menus yesterday at some other restaurants in a different area, thinking it was just going to be Joyce and I, and then I'm like, okay, well, knowing that she lives further away, I figured I'd pick out a place that was between me and her, halfway for each of us, which would have been in Jackson. And there was a restaurant there, and I'm looking at the, the menu and all the stuff, and I'm like, I'm like in the mood for it again. That like the strawberry salad with the nuts and all that. But so this one will look good. I'm still we'll see how I am tomorrow, because yesterday I was just kind of like, I was tired. I never did take a nap, but I had no energy, and I had no real thought power or whatever and stuff. I'm I'm just in the mood for salad. I'm like, I'll see what I'm in the mood for tomorrow. Maybe it'll be something different. But nope, that salad still looks good. And the Christmas is out. I've got it on back of the store. Look at those pink trees. That's kind of cute. Who knew that chipmunks could climb trees? Chippy is out there eating her suet, and then he runs around the rest of the tree, and he's eating the berries on the tree. But I did not know that chipmunks could climb trees. I've never seen them in the trees. So this is just too funny. What good entertainment. Alright, I'm going to do some juicing, trying a different one this time. I've got some pear and kale, and then the usual carrots and cucumbers and lemon. Got the last 2 cucumbers off the vine, so I had one small one, and I have this one. But again, man, look at those spikes. If you can see how tall they are. Goodness gracious. But anyways, these will go into my yummy juice. Happy Monday! Woot woot! I'm in my exercise clothes. Back to routine finally this week. So with Mandy back home, she had her first work day yesterday. So she had a good weekend back home. I'm catching up with her friends again, going to their wine bar. He said the wine bar manager was all happy to see them again, and came over and toasted with them a couple times. And I guess the mayor was there, and they got to meet the mayor. And so that was all exciting fun. Didn't get to talk to her though. She was still too tired and still catching up with her time zone Sunday morning. So phooey for me, but that's okay. We always told her that, if she's too tired, she doesn't feel up for it, that's okay. She needed her sleep so she could be ready for her workday. So we'll have to see how that one went yet. She didn't answer me for asking how the kiddos liked their little charms that they got. So we'll find out. Other than that, yeah, Cassie and Wayne are back to work, and I'm back to exercising. Oh, it felt so good. I'm a sweaty mess. Yeah, haven't exercised in a week. Thought I'd get to it like on Friday, figuring Friday it was going to be more of a normal day, but no, even though Cassie kind of slept in and stuff, and yeah, with still Wayne around and everything. If anything, at least Wayne and I took walks every day, so that was very nice. Back in the day, probably before kids and whatnot, we used to take walks around the whole lake in the summer, like every weekend. We would take the nice long walk, so it's always nice that he's up for, even these days, walking to the corner and back with me. We've done our loops around here and everything, which is good, but now that I'm able to walk further, It's very nice that he is like, yep, whatever you want to do, he can keep up with me. So we get our walks to the corner and back and get to see the heron or the eagle, or which haven't seen the heron in like 2 weeks, kind of. The herons have not been in their spots where I usually see them. One of the times we walked, we stood there and we were looking, didn't see anything, and then we were about ready to keep walking, and then I saw a heron like on the far side, kind of flying, and it was like, what was that? Oh, yep, that was a heron. But for the most part, I think they're done for now, unless any more come through that are flying south. I think we're done with seeing the herons, and I haven't seen the eagle in a couple days either, so that's all right. Like I said, I enjoy it when I do see them. So now we'll just have the geese here for a while. Same thing, like this is again a stopping point for them, as in they do all their practicing of flying formations, and then most of them also fly south. We usually do still have a small group that hangs out here, but so we'll still have that. What else? Oh, an exercising update that I've forgotten to give. As of September, I've been able to do push-ups again. So little girl push-ups, but that's what I can do. But I was excited when I was able to do those. That was kind of my September challenge. I thought, okay, well, let's do push-ups every day. And, I still only go halfway down. I can't get all the way to the floor, but you know what, even the halfways and all that. But I thought with my shoulders, having the bad shoulders there for the longest time. Oh, I was going to look up, I forgot. I was going to look up when I was finished with physical therapy for my shoulders, but I think it was probably almost a year ago, because October, I know it was the fall. I know it was getting cool out already when I was doing my therapy and stuff. So, yeah. March, yeah, was it March? That was like the 3 months after somewhere around there. In any case, I'm happy that I can do that again. Like I said, the shoulders are healed enough. Every once in a while, more so the left shoulder, when I'm reaching straight, like overhead, like this, still kind of pinches. It hurts a little bit. But I can still reach far, forward and do whatever, but reaching up to the side more, that's all, it's pretty good. I still have little sore spots, but for the most part, like I said, I can move my arms now, and the shoulders really don't hurt. So that is awesome. Again, another little win. I will take it. I will take my little wins that I get. So that as far as still healing, still going, still doing what I need to do. What else? I think that's about it. So it's Monday. I will do my sort of catching up type stuff. I have a couple videos planned for the week, which is good, because again, last week was all about Mandy being here and doing stuff with Mandy and going, doing stuff every day. Every day was busy. So now we're back to figuring out, like I said, back to schedules, back to planning some videos and things like that. So now I'm going to go shower, do a bag change. I've been having a little bit of red skin around the stoma. I've been having pinches. Sometimes I even get them even the same day that I change my bag. A couple hours later, I'll have a little bit of pinching. Like I said, if I get pancaking, it kind of pinches, but then I pull the bag away from like my skin type of whatever to try to get some air in there, to try to get some area, so that again, the output could fall down, so it's not up against, me. But last time I've changed my bag at like 3 days, I think, and again there was some redness. The time before that, when I changed my bag, the stoma was actually bleeding in 2 places. So again, usually when I have something like that go, I use the stoma powder, and by the next change I'm a little bit better, usually pretty much healed, and if not by the next one, for sure I'm healed. But I usually go at least 5 to 6 days with my bag. So changing it at the 3 bag mark is, well, I have the bag, so I have the supplies. So because of that, I'm like, let's just do it. And because I've been having the rawness and stuff, I want to change it more often just to make sure that I am getting it healed up. So there's that. I'm feeling a little stuffed up, goofy. Yesterday I was sneezing a lot, more than usual, and all that, and I'm like, all right. And the nose was just running, not stopping type of, and I thought, am I catching a cold? I'm like, I don't remember the last time I had a cold. It's been a really long time. So, not that I'm not due for one, kind of. I'm like, I'll take staying healthy and not having a cold, but I thought, okay, but the other symptoms didn't come on. I don't have the sore throat, like the sinus dripping. I don't have a sour stomach because, again, of the sinus dripping and all that. It was just a lot of sneezing and blowing my nose. And then this morning it kind of started up again. So now I'm kind of like, allergies? I kind of thought of that yesterday too, but I'm like, oh, it felt more cold like a little bit yesterday. I did have one of my juices, and it showed that this weekend I did, what did I make? I know when we went to the store, I came home and I thought, well, let me do a few of these certain things. My mom wanted some ham, so we bought ham, and I did that way. I made mashed potatoes and carrots. For Saturday, I asked Cassie, I'm like, do you want this today after work or tomorrow? She was like, today sounds good, so we did that. And then yesterday I made chicken and vegetable casserole, one of the recipes that I have on here. Usually I put the rolls on top. This time I didn't do the rolls. I put some noodles in there because my mom likes noodles, and I'm like, and that's easier. And sometimes with the rolls, unless you eat it the same day it's really good and the rolls are crispy, but then they get all soggy. So this time I made it with noodles, and that was really good. And I did some juicing. So the last 2 cucumbers from the garden, I used those, and I made a rainbow juice, and I made 3 of those. So I took one to Mom, I drank one. Did I have 4? Maybe, because I still have one in the refrigerator. I drank one of those yesterday. So I thought again, okay, what can I do? Like, I already had my vitamin C pill in the morning. I'm like, what else? I'm like, okay, I got this drink that's, full of fruits and some veggies that had carrots in there. So I'm like, okay, we'll drink that, and again, do what I can to stay healthy and stuff. And then, like I said, this morning I had a couple sneezes, and the 2 which, points more to allergies. I haven't had allergies in a long time. Back when I was in 9th grade, I had chicken pox. And after that, I went and visited my neighbor, who I visited often, and they had Siamese cats. And when I was over there, my eyes were itching and they were turning red. And the mom that was like, I think you're having an allergic reaction. Go take like an allergy pill. So I had Benadryl in the house. So like, all right, took a Benadryl. Well, that just made me sleepy. And I slept it. I'm like, well, that was just silly. But then again, I went over there again another time and again the same thing happened. I'm like, I think I'm allergic to cats now, and which I was. And when I met Wayne and going over by his house and everything, his parents' house, they have cats. And so when I was over there, it would be my allergies would act up. So it was kind of like, okay. And then I started getting seasonal allergies, and I got tested. So I had that whole prick test. Did you ever have that done? For mine, they did the thing on my arm. Actually, they did it on my forearm. So they pricked. They take like almost like a pin or a little something, and they do a little scratch, and they put little scratches, and then they take a little drop, and they put a little drop of whatever on each spot, and they have it mapped out. They have a sheet of paper that tells them which one is which. So there was like grass and pollen and dust and dogs and cats, trees. I think that was it. I don't know. There was a bunch of them. So in any case, I came up to that, yes, I was allergic to cats and like ragweed and dust and grass and trees. And I'm like, oh, well, it would make sense. So in spring when everything was blooming and I'd be taking my walks, and I would then just start sneezing. And so I would be taking an allergy pill throughout most of the summer. I was usually good through fall. I guess the ragweed, I would still have a little bit with the ragweed, but then end of fall through winter, I was good. Until spring would come again and stuff would be blooming. And I was not allergic to dogs, so that was good. I was trying to think of what time I had the allergy testing. We had dogs. Well, I had dogs and all that. I had dogs growing up. We had a couple dogs. Those were fine. So again, more environmental, like I said, and then with the cats. And then, I don't know, maybe 7-ish years ago or so, Lord knows when, time flies. And you think, oh, it's only so long. No, it's really been longer. So I'd say the last 7 to 10 years, I haven't had allergies. 0 or 7. I'd have to think about it. I know when I say with Wayne's mom and having cats, and there's a point in time that her one cat had passed away and she didn't have a cat for a little while, and then she got another cat. And I thought, okay, we'll see how this goes. Well, I wasn't having any symptoms. And I thought, oh, interesting. So every time we go there, I always make sure I have an allergy pill with me, just in case. And I stopped having symptoms. And I was like, oh, nice. Okay. And then noticing when I was outside walking that I wasn't having any symptoms. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then Wayne will be walking with me, and then he starts sneezing. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, I don't, take an allergy pill. See, and he did, and he'd feel better. And then the next day or whatever, again, he'd start sneezing. And one of the times we take a walk, we noticed like this layer of pollen on the water, and was like, holy cow. And he goes, well, no wonder there's that. So he developed allergies, which I looked that up at one point, and it said something to the fact of that, yes, it goes both ways. You can have allergies for a long time and then outgrow them. And I'm like, okay, that's what happened to me. And you could have not had allergies for a while and all of a sudden develop them, which is what happened to him. So that's interesting. So there will be mornings when Wayne wakes up too, and then he just he gets the sinus drippage, and then he just starts coughing, and because he's coughing up the phlegm type stuff, and it's like, all right, and he's got to take some allergy pills, so he can make it through the day. And I've been fine, like I said, until yesterday. So I'm glad it's not a cold, but that way too, because if I keep going over to my mom's, I'm still helping her out and everything of some stuff by her. She's still not feeling the best. Still has a little bit of fluid in the lungs. She can't really lay flat. She says she'll start coughing and everything. And other than that, though, the main cough is gone, so that's good. Still got she's doing some bandage changes. She's got one sore that we're working on that hopefully will heal quickly. So send some healing energy towards my mom. I would appreciate that. Other than that, yeah, you have allergies? Do you have them for the weather, for cats, for dogs, food? I know there's food allergies. That's kind of a different thing. When I was working at the daycare, I had a couple kids had food allergies. It's like, ooh, it could be hard. Obviously, the peanuts, that's the normal one. This child was allergic to like strawberries, and I know he had nuts, and then he had whey, I think too. It may have been some dairy. So it's challenging to figure out then what to eat. I know a couple of you on here have mentioned that you're gluten-free. Tried that. I tried that for a little while before I knew what was going on with my body, before my diagnosis. I thought too, and I'm like, maybe it's gluten was causing all my problems. And so I tried to go gluten-free for a while, so did try some of the gluten-free, I don't know what I tried, cookies, like pasta or something like that. Maybe some of the breads. I don't know if I would go out to restaurant. I don't know. I know I tried a few things. It was interesting. It's a different taste, but obviously, again, something you get used to, and you should be fine. But as far as other allergies, I know a lot of people are allergic to cats and dogs, so that's a big one. And then there's the outside stuff. So let me know. Do you get to go through that? Fighting allergy pills. When I had my first allergies, I found this allergy medicine. It was called ARM, Allergy Relief Medicine. That worked the best. It was so great. I could take my pill. I knew I would be good. And then they stopped making that. And I was like, oh, no it. Because again, the Benadryl just makes you sleepy. So I didn't want to be taking that. So now we found Advil Cold and Sinus. And in reality, we buy it from behind the pharmacy counter, because it has a different medicine in it than the stuff that's on the floor. And I'm forgetting what that is right now too. If I can find it, I remember, I will put the word up here. It's something that the the people who make the street drugs can take that and melt it down and make something that's not so good. So that's why they keep it behind the counter. And so when you go buy it, you have to present your driver's license. And they put that information in the computer so they can track it and make sure that you're not buying so much, so that it is just for personal use and not that you're doing something else with it. So I first heard about that with NyQuil. My neighbor had told me at one point she had gotten sick. She was a single lady, so there too, when she would get sick, whatever, and when she had her dogs, I would go help walk her dogs, or I would, ask her, do you need anything? Do you need to go to the store? Do you need stuff? So one time she wanted some NyQuil. And she told me, she goes, buy it from behind the pharmacy counter. And I was like, behind the pharmacy counter? It's NyQuil, And so I did, and sure enough, they had it. And I'm like, okay. And and then when she was better and we talked, she mentioned that, there's different ingredients in some of the medicines. And sometimes some of the stuff that's the better stuff that really works is behind the pharmacy counter. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting to know. So then I found that out with the Advil Cold and Sinus. That was like, oh, that was behind the pharmacy counter. So FYI, little tips for you guys. If you're, needing something, or your over-the-counter medicines aren't working for you and you want to try something, see if it's behind the pharmacy counter, because they might have something else. I don't think they carry NyQuil anymore behind there. They must have changed the formula again or whatnot, or they're not making that type that I haven't seen behind the pharmacy counter in a while. I don't remember the last time I tried to buy that either, but I think last time I tried to buy it 2 years ago, I didn't see it back there anymore. But the Advil still is, so that's good. So in any case, that's it for the moment. Gotta go shower, and then being Monday, catch up day, catch up stuff, and then prepare for making my videos for the next couple days. I'm trying to think how many. I have at least 2 videos to do. Might be 3. There's 3. I got 3 videos, so I have to make my little coloring sheets. I like coloring, so that satisfies that little creative outlet for me too. So we will get back to that. All right, shower's done, fresh as a daisy. Bag is changed. Still a little raw, a little bit on the right-hand side. So the bag was sticking really well though, so that was good. Didn't look like there was any potential leakage going to be happening. But hopefully, again, having this one more bag change, it looks like this should heal it up. It's good. Time for breakfast. I saw this in the store, the grocery store last time we were there. Some pumpkin spice oatmeal and what was the other one? Cinnamon spice. I haven't had oatmeal in a long time, so that looked really good to me. That got me. So bought that. I had that the other day. I'm gonna have it again today. And then I've got one of my juices left. Rainbow juice. It has pear, apples, carrots, lemon, a little bit of ginger, and some kale. So that will be my drink this morning to take my vitamins. Happy Tuesday! On my way to the dentist. Now I mentioned before, or thinking about anyways, that I hadn't heard back from the dentist after my last appointment when they did all that scanning in my mouth and stuff, and they were supposed to come up with a guide of being able to drill the peg. And Mandy was in town. I thought, well, okay, on the one day on like Tuesday when she was out shopping with Cassie, I figured that, okay, I could make some phone calls. And that was one of the phone calls I was going to make, and lo and behold, they called me and said, hey, the guide is in, and so we have an appointment available next Tuesday if you can make it. And so I was like, oh, yep, sure, that works for me. So that's now 3 p.m. I prefer stuff earlier in the morning, but so be it. This gets later in the day, then it's a little bit more traffic. But so far, not so bad, although I realized as I passed one of the schools and saw the buses, I'm like, oh yeah, the high school is probably going to be letting out, and the dentist is near there, so it may be a little trafficy, but that's okay. And I don't know what they're all doing today. I don't know if they're just checking the guide to make sure it fits around my gum and how that looks. I don't know if they're actually going to be drilling the hole. Don't know if there's any expense today. Don't you love going to an appointment where you don't really know what's going on? So we will find out. And then I'll let you know. It's about 60 degrees out today. It's partly cloudy, but the sun is shining. So a little bit cool. But obviously, again, going to the dentist office, it's going to be always cold in there. So I have my pants on and my little sweat jacket. So I should be a good temperature. Now, when you go to the dentist, is it always cold for you guys? I don't know, dentist's office, doctor's offices. It's around the grocery store. 2 weeks ago, we went to the grocery store, and it was so cold in there. And I mentioned that, and the cashier said too. She goes, "Oh, I know, my gosh, it's like freezing in here." And I found that interesting. But the next week we went. This last week when we went, it was fine. It was a better temperature. So I don't know what was going on the week before, but in any case, for me, doctors and dentists' office are always cold. So it doesn't matter the temperature outside. Like, I always have to make sure I'm dressed a little bit warmer. So let me know if you experience that too. Dental appointment is finished. Woot woot. It was nice and easy. It was just a matter of putting the guide in my mouth and them checking to make sure that it was fitting properly and that the hole was where it needed to be. So that was good. I don't remember last time. I don't remember the guide being like a whole bottom mouth thing. I thought it was more like just the tooth next to it and then going to the area that needed the tooth. This time it was almost like a retainer. Yeah, the whole plastic mouth mold. It went on the whole lower, bottom jaw, all the bottom teeth. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. But yeah, the dental assistant put it in, looked at it, said, look good. Let me make sure the dentist wants to see it. Dentist said, yep, he wanted to see it. He came in, he looked at it, checked it out, looked at a little something else, mentioned something they had to adjust some other little piece that goes in with it or something, and then asked about questions. And I had asked, between the two of them, I'd asked about whether I'm assuming you're just going to numb out the jaw again. And they said, yep. I said, so it's not like I'm going to be needing anybody else to drive me home or anything, like my husband needed to come. And they said, nope. So that's good. They're going to give me prescription for a couple different medicines that I'll need to take. So like an antibiotic and a pain medicine, and I thought there was some steroid, something. I'll have to, again, double check that when that time comes. But she was just making sure that she's like, are you allergic to any of those medicines? Are you okay with any of those? I'm like, yep, I'm fine with all that. So then when he checked stuff, he asked too, and I said again, I'm like, yeah. So he's like, oh yeah, you're used to this. You know what it's all about. I said, well, you said that you've done them before. I said last time. He's like, because you know this procedure. And I said, well, last time I was actually put out for it. And he's like, oh, do you want to be put out? I'm like, well, you said you've done, these multiple times, so you know what you're doing. It's going to be all good. It's fine. And he's like, yeah, it's all fine. And I'm like, yeah, well then that's fine. I'll be fine. I'm like, yeah, that'll be numbed out. He goes, it's a fast procedure. It's like, 15, 20 minutes or something. You get in, you do a couple drills, you get the little peg in there. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't take very long. He goes like 3 little oscillations or something. And then, then they get the peg in there and then that's good to go. So I remembered that Wayne had mentioned Monday-ish, I think it was, or Sunday, that our dental coverage was changing. I know we got something in the letter. We got a letter in the mail from like United Healthcare. And so I asked him about that. I'm like, well, United Healthcare, like we don't have them and, haven't had them. And then he goes, oh, but our dental care like was them. And his workplace changed as of October 1st to Delta. And we hadn't gotten our cards or anything yet. So he put an email to their HR-ish person, and which is good. So then she sent an email to everybody, like everybody in the company or whatever, on Monday saying, oh yeah, hey, by the way, yep, we have this new dental company. Here's a generic card. Here's a generic number and stuff if you need it. And actual cards will be being sent out soon. So when I came in today, I knew I had to let them know that, oh yeah, new insurance. And so they got that in the system and stuff. So when I was leaving, I stopped the desk and I said, okay, just curious with the new insurance, what will my cost be for this implant? And then I saw their little sign on the side because I knew there was something about Delta Dental, whether they either did work with them or I thought they like didn't work with them anymore. And the sign on the side said, we do work with like Delta. And I thought it was United. So I don't remember who else we had for insurance. Maybe it was them and they just didn't cover as much. So she looked it up and she goes, oh yeah, let me look that up for you. So Delta Dental does cover implants, does some of that. So again, little win for me. Woo! Once again, I'll take that little win. So, and the coverage for them goes like per calendar year. So good thing too, this is October. So although I'm pretty much using up all of our benefits for my implant, it'll reset in January. So I guess we get like $1,000 worth or something. And so now the implant, instead of being $2,700, is going to be $1,700. So yeah, I get like that $1,000 off. The thing about that though too is that then I also do have to pay for my teeth cleaning, which is actually the next day. I'm like, I do believe I have a teeth cleaning also in November. And they're like, oh, is that before or after? Because then that would affect these benefits. And she looked it up and my teeth cleaning is actually the next day. So I'll be coming here 2 days in a row. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyways, the teeth cleaning should run about $190. I'm like, okay, well, that's not bad. And that includes x-rays. So I think a teeth cleaning without x-rays, maybe even less than that. So again, I don't remember if Wayne or Cassie have anything else going on for the rest of the year. Because again, they're the same. They would have to pay for that out of pocket. But again, we're saving some more money. So yay. I'll take it. Here we go, taking our walk again. And the ducks are all over the sidewalk eating those little berries from that tree. But we have to walk through there, so they're gonna all fly away. Happy Thursday! Out for my walk. Woo! Even got my exercising done this morning, so that was good. Yay! It's a little windy out here. Hopefully you'll hear me. I don't think it's really blowing at me. It was blowing at me the other way, so I thought this way would be safe. Yeah, I exercised on Monday. That felt really great. I think I did an update then. Tuesday and Wednesday I ended up filming, so I did not exercise. But yesterday Wayne was able to get home a little bit early, so we took a walk together, came up to the corner and back, so that was wonderful. Didn't know what he'd be up for. I'm always like, you up for the corner or just the loop? And he's like, whatever you want. I'm like, woo, all right, let's get to the corner and back then. Extra steps. And you know, always check out what's going on here at the lake. But as I mentioned before, again, haven't seen the heron in weeks. There is somebody I follow on Facebook though. There's a group, and there's one main guy that takes all the photos. I think he must be a birder because he knows the different types of birds and all that. Says, oh, here's this and this, and he still has a heron showing up there. So once again, there's one bigger bird out on the tree out there, which I can't tell, and I forgot my binoculars again. One of these days, I'll remember. I think about walking with them, and I'm like, it's just gonna be a heavy thing around my neck and dragging on me. So I don't think about that. But anyways, updates. Yeah, so yesterday Wayne had another doctor's appointment. So he was put on, so after we'd taken him to the ER for the goofy eye vision thing, and he was diagnosed with that ocular migraine and high blood pressure. So he was put on the one extra blood pressure medicine because he was on one already, and then he was put on the metoprolol. So that was a second one to be taken. Blood pressure was still kind of high, so the doctor said, okay, take that first medicine twice a day. So he takes that in the morning, and then he takes another one at dinner time. And he was taking his blood pressure at home on and off, and we had Mandy in for a visit, so then he didn't think about it. And then this last week he did it a couple days, and it still seemed a little high, and we were like, oh, all right, well, we'll see what he says. But he had his appointment yesterday, and his blood pressure was like 120/80, and so that's like awesome. That's better than what he's been taking at home with his blood pressure cuff. At home it was still going a little bit high, so we were like, But this ended up working out. So the doctor's like, yep, all right, you're good. Don't need to see it till next September. And Wayne's like, how sad is it that my first thought was like, oh, no doctor's bills for a year. So yay. So that's wonderful. What else? Yeah, on that note, I had a friend tell me about that she worked for Aurora Collections, and gave me some helpful hints on as far as paying the bills that were in collections and talking to Aurora, and doing even all that first. So to see if Aurora could take it back and I could pay them directly, or ask about like a financial assistance type thing, like a hardship. So I finally got around to that today, because again, I didn't want to do that while Mandy was here. I thought I might on the one day that she and her sister were out and about, but didn't get to it, and I thought, all right, forget it, I'll just wait. And I got to that today. I took the time and did all that. Yay. See, again, we had rain the other day, so the water is pouring off. It's sunny, but it's like 60s, a little cool. Sun feels good though. But anyways, yep, I called Aurora. I asked them if they were able, if I was able to pay them directly, or do I have to go, through the collections? And they said, yeah, nope, I would have to go through collections and pay them. And so that's all right. Again, one bill was 500 something, the other bill was 200. So I was able to pay both of them off, and I could do it online, so that was nice. I didn't have to talk to anybody. So that's all taken care of. And as far as my medical bills, I'm all good and taken care of. Like I said, there's still my dermatology appointment. It's still pending insurance. I added up everything I've paid for so far, and I think I'm at like $4,500. So there may be another 500-ish yet to pay. So we shall see. I think that should be okay. So what else? Yeah, not so bad. I have my car appointment next week, and then I have my tooth appointments in November. So that was kind of funny when I went and put that on the calendar, that I will have my peg being put in the one day, the following day is a teeth cleaning, the day after that I have blood work and a CT scan. So, and then the week after that I'll meet with my doctor. But for that it's just like, 3 days in a row of like doing the one tooth. And I thought with the implant it was going to be like 15-20 minute little procedure, so they'll book me for an hour, because obviously it's got to take time to numb out the gum before they can do the shot to numb it all out, and then it takes time for the shot to work and all that. And then when I actually looked at the card that the hygienist had given me, or the dental assistant, to put that on my calendar, they have me booked for a 2-hour procedure, or for 2 hours. I was like, 2 hours, okay. I thought it was going to go much quicker than that. So that'll be interesting. Anyways, other than that, Cassie got to carve a pumpkin at work yesterday, so that was very nice. I had a proud mom moment as she put in chat the pumpkin that she carved. They have at her work, the street name is Downer, and so they have a Halloween celebration on that Saturday, usually before Halloween. So the businesses can hand out candy and all that, and if you carve a pumpkin, put it in your window. They have like a pumpkin contest that, they vote on whatever committee votes on the best pumpkin. And so last year I don't think they did a pumpkin, or did they? One of the years we did one where we had, it was like an eyeball in like a pumpkin mouth. So it was like being eaten. No, we just made an eyeball. Last year we did a pumpkin though. We had a white pumpkin inside the regular pumpkin. Maybe that was to an eyeball. One of the years we did a face and all that. We put a wig on top. So we did that. But yesterday, Cassie found a couple patterns, I guess, and had the coworkers vote on it or whatever. So she did these 2 eyeballs and all that. So it turned out really nice. And I was like, well, did you get any help with it? She's like, heck no, it was just me. And I'm like, oh. And then she was cooking the pumpkin seeds there. They have like a little pizza oven there or whatever. And so she was cooking the seeds too. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm like, well, she's smart enough. She knows. She can look it up online and find a recipe. And put seasonings on there and know what temperature to cook it at and how long. And so it was just like, oh, my girl doing all this. Because she's like, yeah, they didn't know I'm practicing my homemaking skills or something. Or, and I just thought that too. And I'm like, do they even know how good they have it having her there, that she carves the pumpkin for them and bakes the seeds, and besides doing all the actual work stuff. So that was very cute, very nice. So other than that, I guess I'm still enjoying the weather, knowing winter's coming. Thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, I just have to start wearing a coat soon for walks. And I'm like, but I've done it before and it's okay. And still appreciating that I can take these longer walks. Again, just thinking about all my little wins again lately, as I've been talking about, of shoulders feeling better and the exercising going better and doing push-ups and not hurting when doing dishes and being able to take the long walks. It's very nice. I don't know if it's hit me lately. I did join a couple groups on Facebook too for ostomy support groups, and so maybe reading some of that stuff again too. And so some of the things that I'm hearing of people even just having surgeries or whatnot, so some of that's kind of taking me back and thinking about everything that I've gone through. So I'm thinking that has to be a part of it, because the last couple days I've been feeling like a little more emotional-ish. I'm like, a little more of the sad edge type of, but again, so more so thinking of the good stuff, Look at the positives. Somebody else's channel I was watching too, the same thing. When he was diagnosed a couple of years ago, so I went back to the beginning for his stuff. The grumpy beard. And so hearing some of his stuff was saying too, after he got diagnosed, it's like, well, still looking for the positives. You know, they pretty much said given him a death sentence per se, that I don't know if they could really do anything, but they're like, oh, they're gonna try to keep doing what they can for him to keep him going until hopefully, you know, medicine will come up with something, or there will be some type of treatment that will help even more. But even him saying, yep, gotta still keep looking for the positives, gotta try to still keep living life and getting out there and doing things. So, yep, that's what I'm doing. Same thing, getting out there, being positive, and yep, sending out my love and light and prayers to everybody else, and you know, all you guys, and that, and hope that you are all doing well also, and looking for those positives, doing things that make you smile, right? Having some family time. It's always the best, so think of the good stuff. Happy Saturday. So I volunteered, Wayne and I, to help with trees planting at our place. So those are the trees we're going to plant, and we have to move them to where they need to go. So I have a dolly in the garage. I brought that. I brought my own shovel, so hopefully that'll help. I guess we're supposedly going to like roll these onto some tarps or something and try dragging them where they need to go. They have some auger digging thing that's going to help dig the holes. Well, I tried moving one tree. Wayne had the idea of putting this sideways and then putting the tree on there, and then we lifted it up, and that wheel broke. So it is, yeah, we still had it on the side. It was totally cracked. So I don't know if that's still going to be able to move or not. But so be it. I was using this cart for doing my stamping things and haven't done that in a while, so it's just been sitting there waiting to be used. Well, here we go. We got the auger digging a hole. This is the tree we're going to plant. They found a nice little cart for it. Alright, time to carve my pumpkin. Mine's still doing okay, it looks okay. It wasn't rotting or anything, but I drew the face on forgetting I had to cut the top off first, so here we go. Well, the inside is not rotted, so yay! Here we go! Simple little pumpkin. I actually could do his mouth all in one piece. I pushed it out from the back and it's coming out. Woohoo! Look at that. Small little teeth. I guess I could have made them a little bit bigger. Otherwise the smile a little smaller. But you can make the eyes a little bigger too, because they've got tiny little holes on the inside as opposed to what's on the outside. But very cute. Very cutesy. Very demure. Very pumpkin-y. Oh, here we are. Matching smiles. Now we gotta get a light in them. Wayne's working on his pumpkin now. Alright, Wayne's working on his pumpkin. His was a little bit mushy inside. Looks like it did start to rot, so we'll check out if we can do the seeds or not. If we can keep them. There we go. Nice simple pumpkin. Easy. Simple. We'll get them out there. Get them done fast. It's been a long day. We're both tired. There they are. There's our cute little simple pumpkins. Oh, looking so cute with the light in there. Beautiful. Alright, dishes are done from dinner. Now I'm on to pumpkin seeds. We got, I'm doing my pumpkins first. Wayne's pumpkin, seeing as it was kind of sus, decided that I didn't even want to bother with trying to separate what seeds I thought were bad and what were good. And I'm like, I already have these, and we still have leftovers from the ones I made from the girls' pumpkins. So we have enough seeds. But, you know, I always feel bad. Can't just throw them out. Like, you gotta make them, because they're so tasty. Do you guys make your pumpkin seeds? Do you have a favorite recipe? I asked Cassie if she wanted me to make like a cinnamon type this time, make a sweet one, and she was like, eh. So I'm like, alright, making the tried and true with my Worcestershire sauce, butter, salt. That's all it is. Very easy and tasty.